Hello and welcome to Thrive at Home. My name is Sam.
Hello, I'm Carrie.
And today we're going to be talking about an experience we had, and we're still processing through it a little bit. And so we're going to just do that because we think you will enjoy it and benefit from it.
Hopefully you benefit from it.
That's right. So we're going to maybe title this the Date Night Do-Over, or at least we wished we had a date night do-over. So just to hook you, you know you've had a bad date night when your wife cries herself to sleep at night. Okay, it sucked bad. So anyway, so we're gonna just kind of talk through what happened. What happened? So this was a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And basically, there was a lot of expectation around this.
Right. Well, you had been so slammed at work with a big accreditation process going. So you had spent a lot of hours
working late.
I was assuming a lot more of the responsibilities at home because he helps out so much.
Yes.
And but then I got the kids squared away. We got the childcare. That's like step number one.
That's
for
huge.
Date night.
That's huge.
And then I had spent like hours, maybe four hours, researching different ideas. I mean, everything from dinner theater to dance lessons to I don't know, anything, just whatever, trying to stay in budget. I mean, it was a big job. And so then there was one afternoon.
Well, you were actually texting me the day before all these ideas. Okay, so I am trying to get work done because I don't want to stay all night and miss the whole weekend. Okay, so I am trying to, and I'm getting. I'm one of those people that I'm highly distracted. So when I get that,
when you get in the
squirrel,
zone,
okay, I'm like looking. So when I see that phone go off, I want to check it, and so it was just constantly. She was sending texts. About ideas, good ideas, but at that moment I was annoyed by it. And so I kind of said, hey, we need to talk about this later. And then there was a text saying, the car battery is dead. Okay, so I'm in the middle of my workflow, and now I got the car battery is dead. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to go tell my boss, I gotta leave. And then I find out, no, she's not in the car. She's in the van.
I'm in the van because I left the car.
She left the car at home, so it wasn't a crisis. Okay, but that was going on. Okay, so a lot of planning, but we never made any decision.
No. And then our Saturday leading up to it, it was just awful because he was taking care of the car battery, and it was not an easy fix.
I thought it was important, so I'm running around all over town trying to get this car battery charged, and then it turned out it was bad.
Right, so and I was taking care of the kids, which I felt by myself on Saturday while he was gallivanting around getting the battery fixed.
Yeah. Sitting at AutoZone, staring at wonderful employees going, how long is this going to take? Okay. So, yes, there was conflict. I got oil changes. I got, other stuff done. And then I had made promises to the girls that I would take them on motorcycle rides.
Right.
So Adley was ready, and I took off. Okay. And we went on an epic motorcycle ride, Adley and I. It was great. And on the way home, I had already planned, okay, this is where I'm going to take Jocelyn. And I pull up. And it's always a bad sign when you pull up and the babysitter's car is already there.
Right.
Because I had evidently forgotten or didn't know when the date was supposed to start. So lesson number one is know when it's supposed to start. And so needless to say, Jocelyn was disappointed. She didn't get on a motorcycle ride. And you're like, go shower.
You're right. So we kind of started our tip number one, know when it starts. Tip number two is don't try to get everything done the day of, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so it just kind of started out shaky, and it was kind of crazy. Well, I went and dropped off kids. We got everything squared away. We get in the car, and we need gas. So, and all the running around.
That's it. One of the most beautiful ways to start a date night is the Costco gas line on a Saturday night. Okay?
Awful.
So we're driving up there.
Right. And I say, because once again, I didn't get any response about any of my planning, any of my ideas. So I just say, I would like to go to the coast, somewhere. I love the beach. It's relaxing. It's good. And then I made a suggestion. I remember making a suggestion.
I don't recall this suggestion.
Which we just found out.
Yeah.
But I made the suggestion, hey, there's a brigantine that's up in Del Mar.
Right.
And I remember him saying, well, I think we're good. You said something about trying this new restaurant. We had just heard of a new restaurant in town. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
So I'm going to make up my reasoning right now on the fly because it's always better. But the truth is, Carrie loves to try new places. She does. Okay, so we've been to the Brigantine before. Maybe I can't remember if we've been to the one in Del Mar, but we've been to the Brigantine. This new place has just been recommended. Well, I kind of thought maybe, right? Yeah. Well, So, but I didn't hear the Brigantine, or at least I don't remember it. So I'm now thinking, okay, we're going to go towards this new restaurant, and it's in Claremont. And then what happened is that I made a dumb comment, okay? But I didn't know I had made a dumb comment, okay? But I brought something up, all right, that, well, it kind of seems like, we're falling back into, X, Y, and Z pattern.
Old parenting patterns.
Old parenting pattern.
Didn't sit well with me.
No.
And honestly, I did not do any of the I statements or anything at the moment. I did what I thought was best, and I shut down because I didn't want to ruin the rest of the night.
It was as though an emotional sponge, was vacuuming the air. It was like, it was just, and I was talking, and there was no response. And I didn't know what else to say.
I'm so embarrassed. It's such a vulnerable moment.
Yes. And so I talked for a little bit, and then I didn't talk anymore. I just, I was like, well, I hope it's going to come out. Maybe something. Anyway.
Right. And so then after dinner, we get in the car, and he's like, you want to go down to the beach, right? And I'm like, yeah, I want to go to the beach. And part of me inside, I'm thinking, whew, he heard something, right?
Except I chose the worst beach possible, okay? 2 late 30s, early 40s people don't need to be going to Pacific Beach on a Saturday night, okay? We stood out like foreign tourists. And so, anyway, it was miserable. We're walking around. So here's our date, one-on-one, face-to-face, over dinner, no distraction. The car radio still doesn't work because we changed the battery. We don't know what's going on. So there was dead silence, no music,
right,
no conversation.
Right. And I didn't wear walking shoes. So once we got in the car to come home, it was complete silence from Pacific Beach to Poway.
Yeah.
30 minutes. And we came home from the day early. We relieved the babysitter, and we still had an hour before we had to pick up the girls from where they were at. And we honestly sat on the bed, and even then it was tough to actually get words out.
Right.
But we started the conversation then, and
I think I said, this was the least inspiring date we've ever been on.
No, you said this is the least inspiring date with you that we have ever been on.
Okay, that's a good point. Okay, and I think I may even continued the verbal diarrhea with something like, if we had this date when we were dating,
I don't know.
I don't even know we married. It was the most awkward silence we had ever had. Well, so at that point, we're both miserable because this is something that you had looked forward to.
Right.
The whole month. You've been looking forward to this. We have not, we tell people to have date nights, but sometimes it's tough to have them, getting childcare and the whole 9 yards. And I said something like, man, next time we're going on a motorcycle ride where you can't have conversation, and we're going to go to a movie, okay? And then yogurt afterwards. We're going to start over. Oh, my.
And the crying later on was a parenting moment. It wasn't his fault necessarily, but it just ended up being really bad. It was a parenting issue, but anyways, needless to say, is we do have the opportunity for a do-over that's coming up in just a few days.
Yes.
And I don't know that we necessarily have a plan other than
it's not going to be
it's not going to be a repeat.
Yeah. But I think the big key is that we began the discussion immediately. Just as soon as I found out, I had made that dumb comment, well,
right.
You know what? That was a dumb comment. And as one of my friends says, you want to hit the do-over button. And that's really the date night do-over, is where you start over and you get back up and you don't hold the grudge, right? Because that one's done. That one's done. We don't get that one back, and you don't focus on that. It's focused to the future. Right. So I'm looking forward to our next date.
Yeah, me too. And I know we're not the only ones. We are not. Our experience is common to so many people.
Yes.
And the thing is that just don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Laugh about it, because in the future you'll laugh. You'll look back and you'll laugh. We had one other date that was the worst.
Yes.
Actually, I think this last one topped that one, which was the worst. But in 16 years of marriage, that's pretty good.
That's right.
So.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right. See you next time.